Hello my friends and welcome. It is wonderful to have you here. I am Morjax. We are playing Mordheim, City of the Damned, and today, stay tuned because today we are looking at leveling up our various different guys, and I'm going to be going through a bit about the equipment, and we're also going to be making an early shipment for some cold hard gold. So if that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned for that. I've gotten a lot of requests to show a little bit more about what equipment I'm using, why I'm using it, and then of course we are long overdue to assign some skills. So, first and foremost, we are going to make our Wordstone shipment early because this skill leveling up that we're about to do is going to pretty much tap out our coffers. And I want to get that money going. You can see our surplus payment is going to be 1,280, so we're basically going to get back to where we started after we make this shipment. So we're going to go ahead and do that and send it. All right, so that says shipment in transit, and next shipment will arrive in 2 days. So for those of you who don't know, I had 9 days remaining. Those 9 days are added on before the next one rolls up for us, so we will have a good amount of time to collect even more Wordstone. But we're gonna go in here, and first and foremost, Morjax is going to be getting the skill Intimidate, which is an active skill in the leadership branch, and I'll read it to you here. Target must be engaged with the user. The target takes a leadership test with a plus 25% bonus. On failure, it is forced to flee from the user, providing a free attack to anyone engaged with it. Does not affect targets who would never retreat from battle and do not leave or do not have the option to flee. So we're going to go ahead and learn that. That costs 4 blue bubbles, which is half of our blue bubbles. And the big idea is if we are engaged, we can cast that once. Like, let's say it's the start of our turn. We've got 8 blue pills to spend. And we can spend 4 of them to Intimidate, which gives us a chance to force the enemy to flee. And then we can either do it again for another 4 if it failed, or we can spend 2 to parry and have 2 left over. So that's what that is all about. I like Intimidate. It synergizes really well with this Demoralize, because you start your turn, Morjax can attack 3 times with his one-handed weapon. He's got 7 red pills. Each attack costs 2, so he attacks 3 times. And Mastery of Demoralize says, after dealing melee damage, reduce the target's chance to pass all alone tests by 10% for 1 turn, stackable. So stackable means it can come from different characters too. So we're going to swing in 3 times. That's going to give them a minus 30% chance to pass all alone test. And then Intimidate gives them a plus 25 bonus, but then you subtract out that 30%, and they're at a -5 to pass that Intimidate check. So I kind of like the way that these two work together. And next we are going to move on. Oh, look at that graphical error. Robin, boy wonder, you have turned into Casper the Ghost. Alright, Vord Darkblade, let me just cross off my list here so don't get confused. Vord Darkblade will be learning Fatality, and you can see his crit chance is up to 16. He's going for a good bit of accuracy here. He's up to 9. And Fatality says, after dealing melee damage, crit hit chance increases by 2% for 1 turn, stackable. So our first attack is going to be at a 16% crit chance, second attack is going to be at an 18% chance, and the third attack is going to be at a 20% chance. So it's not huge, but, you know, a 20% chance is 1 out of 5, and we're doing 3 attacks per round, so you can see where that can kind of add up a little bit. Another one that works pretty nicely, I'm not going to go for it here, is Quick Incision, which reduces their melee resistance, makes it easier to hit them. And Deep Wounds is another that I plan on getting later, which increases crit damage by 10 or 20%. So those are both quite good. We're going to go ahead and get Fatality, and someday I'd like to master this Demoralize and maybe Shield Specialist too. But let me cross off my list here, and let's see who's next. That's not what I want. Shade Warp. So I've gotten a couple of comments about basically why the heck haven't you taught him more skills? And honestly, I've been negligent. I need to do it. I've been dragging my heels, and now that we got that second story mission done, now is the time to assign skills. And I'm torn between these 3. Lightning Strike is a single target, but a little bit better casting chance and curse chance. versus Fireball. Fireball is harder to cast, more likely to get cursed, but it does splash damage. So it's a 5-meter radius, 15 feet, roughly, which is pretty good. I'm leaning towards Lightning Strike. The other one that I like and I want to get eventually is Dread of Aramar. And this is allies and enemies within a 5-meter radius around the caster. So you have to be a little bit careful when you use it, but it reduces the hit chance for 1 turn, not stackable. And then it also removes 2 OP and 25% chance to break stances, and that is stackable. So this costs 4. It is expensive. But when we get 2 more red pills, which is going to be down the line a little, I want to train this spell because we can potentially cast it twice per turn, and it can shut down if you're like in the thick of it with Shade Warp here, which honestly I don't want him in the thick of it that much, but if you're against tall odds, there's more enemies than allies nearby, you can cast this twice in a turn, and it actually removes 2, if you have it mastered, it removes 4 offense points, and you can cast it twice, so that's 8 offense points. So if you can successfully cast a mastered version of this twice, you can pretty much eliminate red pills for anybody in range. It's pretty amazing. So right now I want to go with more damage, and we've got 6 red pills. This costs 3 apiece. Fireball costs 4. So we're going to be training Lightning Strike for now, which is a single target. You know, just pretty straightforward. You zap them with a big old thing of lightning. So that is what we're going to do. And then I'm going to go into just a little bit here about some of the skills that we're going to get hopefully down the road. And that is things like Expert Casting. I like a lot. It gives you 5 extra meters of range. Improved Casting reduces the enemy resistance. And Resist Corruption. No, not Resist Corruption. Which is it? Huh, I thought there was one where it reduces your curse chance, but I'm not seeing it here. So, okay, fine, whatever. I will cross off Shade Warp off the list. Alright, let's see who's next. Morrigan is injured and will be recovering. Gax, good old Gax Morganti. Gax is going to get some well-needed armor proficiency, and the first level of this gives reduced heavy armor movement penalty by 1 meter. He is always going to be in heavy armor, so this is going to be good. And then the Mastery gives an extra 5 armor absorption and reduces the penalty by 2 meters. So he's currently at 4 meters. That's going to go up to 5, and then in the future it's going to go up to 6. So we're going to go ahead and train that. That is a good one to get for any of your heavy melee guys wearing heavy armor. All right, let us continue. Johnny 5. He, as you can see down here, I'm cranking his accuracy up pretty dang high here, and we're going to go into Fatality again. So Fatality with Vord Darkblade, Fatality with Johnny 5. His crit chance is at 15%, which you can see up in the top left up here, right below that word available, the green word available. So we're going to go on our first attack. We only get 2 per round. First attack is at 15%. Second attack is at 17% crit chance, crit chance. You know, I'm sort of second guessing myself whether we want deep wounds here, but I don't know. You know what? We're gonna do it on a whim. We're gonna do it because 15 to 17 is not great. We'll get Fatality down the road, but right now, I spur of the moment, decided we're going with deep wounds instead. Okay, and then we've got one more here, and that is Gameldrod. So Gameldrod will be learning Demoralize, which Vord Darkblade and Morjax already know. Oh no! I thought I did my math right. You know what? I messed it up because I decided to go for deep wounds. Doggone it. Alright, well, what Gameldrod was gonna get is Demoralized. Dang it, I knew there was a reason I was gonna do it that way. Okay, let's see what else we have. I don't want to really settle, but at the same time, it's like... that was foolish of me. Alright, there's not really anything else I want to get at this time, so that is going to wrap it up for skills, and now we're going to look at who is equipped with what and why they have that. So Morjax I have with blue, which is sort of a medium rarity light armor and a helmet. And basically I gave him my tactic is to give my heroes the better items, because they can get more out of it. They can attack more times per round. They've got more life and are less likely to go down. So I just generally, as a rule of thumb, am giving them the blue items. And then I've got a hammer for crit hit damage. But you know what? He's got such a low crit chance that I'm kind of second guessing that. You know, I think for the time being, I'm going to switch to an axe, which gives armor bypass. That's a nice looking axe. More War Morjax, nice axe. Show us your axe. Okay. And Robin Boy Wonder is freaking out graphically. I like how even the shadow it doesn't even render his corporeal body. And the reason we are running a halberd and not a one-handed weapon is because he has 5 red pills. So our first attack, assuming that we don't charge, and we don't want to charge with Robin Boy Wonder, our first attack is going to cost 2 red pills. And let's see here, the halberd is tiring, so it costs 3 for the second attack. So this way we're able to attack twice per round, and we don't have anything extra left over. So that is a good thing. He's got light armor, and I don't have him in a helmet, or I didn't have him in a helmet because I didn't have any extra, but oh, there we go. He just popped into existence. But I do have an extra helmet, so that's going on him. Vor Darkblade has a helmet, and I've given him clothes, so I think I want to switch him to light armor because he is like my main frontline man. And he has a sword and a shield, which gives increased crit chance and parry stance. So that's a really good thing. Let's see. This gives him a little bit worse chance to climb, leap, jump down, etc. versus the clothing. It is also a little bit slower and gives a worse dodge stance. But we don't care about dodge stance because Vor Darkblade is all about parries. Also, that armor looks pretty freaking sweet. That looks really good. I like that light armor. It's like leather armor, you know? Okay, so Shade Warp is running a staff, which gives us a reduced curse chance and allows the use of parry. We're really looking for that reduced curse chance primarily. And there's a couple of other like enchantments and things you can do that give you reduced curse chance, and I definitely want that as well. He's running a bow because I believe that is the only ranged weapon he's capable of running. And, you know, the casters are pretty squishy. Sometimes you don't want them in combat. Sometimes you want to shoot from afar, as well as now we've got our lightning spell, so we can do that as well. All right, Morgan is going for ballistic skill. Morgan is kind of our everyman hero, so has a halberd in the offhand, and again, same reason with the 5 OP is that first attack costs 2, second attack costs 3, and that is if we get in close quarters, we can always switch to the halberd. And right now, I've got him in clothes. I might like to have light armor, maybe. Let's actually switch to rare clothes right now because we can. And really, generally, what we're going for here is the ability to shoot. That's the primary focus, but then also be able to cover in close combat if need be. And the helmet is sort of a gimme. It's kind of a why not, you know? You've got the slot open, got a free helmet, go ahead and put it on there. All right, Gax Morganti has rare heavy armor, rare helmet. He is our heavily armored guy, and now with armor proficiency, we'll be able to get him into combat a little bit easier. And I've got him with a hammer and a shield, and actually the hammer is crit damage. You know, I think I want to switch that to an axe as well. And the reason we would switch to our offhand weapon is if we're in dire straits and I want him to hold the line a little bit longer, we can go from... well, it's not showing up here. Usually our armor should change because this gives us an extra... Oh, interesting. I think they changed that. I thought it used to give you armor absorption, but in fact it gives you range resistance plus 10, melee resistance plus 5. So you can see right down here, melee resistance 18%, range 19%. Nothing great, but it gives us a little bit more longevity, and if the enemy is heavily armored, we can switch to that axe and try to cut through some of their armor. All right, moving on to Johnny 5. He is speccing into accuracy and going to be kind of a crit build. So the hammer makes a lot of sense in this case because it gives you more crit damage. I've got him in light armor and a helmet because he is a melee frontlines unit. So that is really good to help him or help keep him on the field. Peter Sauerhaus is a ranged sucker. And, you know, there is no reason not to put a pendant on him, except that it does bring our Warband rating up a bit. That's going to give us a boost to our all alone test. He has our magic bow here, and I'm seriously tempted by this blunderbuss. It costs 3 to reload, which is typical for a a black powder weapon, but it shoots in a cone that affects allies and enemies, does not require a target. So it does 30 to 40 damage. It goes in a cone. You know, that might be a pretty strong contender for an offhand. Let me know if you want to see the blunderbuss in action. I think it's kind of a little bit dangerous because you have to get close, and I like to keep Peter back a little ways, but I might run that in the offhand potentially. And we were running clothing for extra mobility, and then we've got a one-handed mace and a free offhand, which gives us plus to dodge and also plus to speed. So if we need to switch him to melee roll, he's got extra hit chance in that situation, which he needs because his weapon skill is atrocious. All right, looking at Gameldrod here. Gameldrod is not speccing into accuracy, just going for straight up weapon skill. And right now I have him with a spear and a shield. The spear I like as a one-hander. We've only got 4 red pills right now, which is why I want to run something that I can attack twice with. If I did something like a great sword or a great hammer, I would only be able to attack once per round instead of twice. And in this case, we also don't want to charge. I haven't been mentioning that recently, but I'm trying to use every single red pill. Every round, I want to use all my red pills. Okay, Remus Lupin is pretty dang similar to Peter Sauerhaus, so I won't go too far into that. Werner Nemu is pretty similar to Johnny 5 in that he's going for a crit build. And Andy Grisseltour is our... I'm going to change his name right now. I'm going to do it, guys. Odd Duck Andy. And the reason I'm doing that is because Andy is an archer who cannot shoot. He is a strange being, an archer who cannot shoot. And I want to actually have him with maces, which gives him a hit chance, because his weapon skill is really quite bad. We're putting a little bit into accuracy, but honestly, you know, Andy is kind of our meat shield. He goes in and pulls aggro, and then the other guys come and back him up. So, Andy, I would not feel... I feel a little bit bad to say this, but I wouldn't really be that bummed out if Andy dies. So he is kind of the one... He's the bait. He's the bait to the trap of the rest of our warband. And then Buitol is leveling up, but he's going to be a heavy hitter. Pretty similar, in fact, to Gax Morganti. And, you know, at some point I would like to do armor proficiency with him as well, and then switch him to heavy armor. But for now, I think the light armor and helmet are working pretty well. He's only got 3 pills, and so that's going to give you 1 attack or 1 charge per round, whether you're doing a one-handed or two-handed weapon. So that simplifies things. And that is the end of all our equipment. So I hope that sheds a little bit of light on, you know, what I have equipped, why I have it equipped, you know, why I'm running one thing versus another. And I did get one reminder. I think it was from, I'm trying to remember your name. I think it's Daniel. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong. It's like Daniel, and then the last name is, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Toetoet. It's like Toetot or something like that. I'm sorry, I probably minced it. But he had said, don't run, you know, a two-handed sword, run a halberd with Gax Morganti, because then he can parry, because he has an atrocious 0% dodge chance, but a 40% parry chance. So, thank you so much for that tip, sir. And, you know, I think that wraps it up for this episode. We're going to be skipping ahead 3 days so that Morgan will be healed up. Everyone will learn their new skills. And with that, I'm going to call it an episode here. Do tune in next time for a new match with all of our sweet new skills. And I have to say, I'm leaning towards the passive skills. If you guys have a favorite skill you like, let me know. I know I already just spent a bunch of my skill points, but I always like to hear what you guys like and combos that are your favorite. I'm going for sort of the demoralize, you know, forcing flee / crit hit type build with my warband here. So thank you so very much for watching. It is always wonderful to have you guys aboard. If you liked this episode, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, feel free to thumbs down, and subscribe to keep updated to more Mordheim videos.